Good morning, guys. Today we're going to look at our 5th grade science picture book project. So in your packet you'll want to get out this paper. It's either this orange color or yours might be green. It's half and half. Okay. For now you're not going to be able to fill out these 2 lines. We'll do that later. If the author will be your name, you could put your name on this. But you probably don't need to worry about it since we're not sharing space in the classroom. Okay. So I want to go over this project. We're going to be making a picture book. It's going to be like 8 to 12 pages, and it's going to be on a 5th grade science topic. Okay. So what is your picture book going to need? It's going to need a title. This should be something that's short, not super long. It should be kind of catchy or interesting. Okay. You're going to have a broken up text. What that means is it'll be like you have one story and a little bit of it goes on each page. Okay, so when we're talking about this picture book, I want you guys to think about this would be for like maybe a 2nd grader. Like if we were at school, we would go read these to our reading buddies type thing. So not too many words on each page, about 2 sentences per page. Okay, straightforward information. Book's going to be 8 to 12 pages. Each page will have 2 to 3 sentences. Illustrations that integrate with the text, and a small caption to explain any pictures. You'll have charts, diagrams, a key, or whatever you need. You should have labels on all your pictures, charts, and diagrams, and you'll need a title page and a bibliography. Here's some other things that you might want to include. You might want to have pictures of how something works or how it's changed. Sequence. So remember, sequence means the order. So order things going. So, for example, if you were doing a book on the seasons, you might have how it moves from one season to another, or if you were doing the water cycle from one to another. Okay. You might put your important words in bold, kind of like in our Reach book. You can think about our vocab words, how they were usually bolded or highlighted. You might do fun facts or text boxes or fact file boxes. You could have review information. So maybe there's something that someone needs to know before they can understand your book. You could have fold-out pages. You can make a pop-up book. You can go as crazy as you want with this. You might have math. You might have rhymes. You might have your words go in the shape of a picture. That's common in picture books. You might even have some poems. There's a little note on the bottom of this page that says, after you've completed one of the requirements, you can highlight it or check it off so you know it's complete, and then when everything is done, or highlighted, checked off, crossed off, you'll know your project's complete. This project is not going to be done this week. We're going to be working on this for 3 weeks, doing a little bit every day together. Okay? Science is still only 20 to 30 minutes a day, and we're going to be working on this for a while. It's not like your body project that you did in 3 days. We're going to be doing a little bit at a time. We're going to have a rough draft. We're going to have a final copy. We're going to go through all the different parts. Right now, before we go on to our lesson today, I want to pause and show you some examples. These are some example pages that Ms. Helpenstall's class did, I think, 2 years ago. And they're all sideways for some reason, but that'll be okay. So, here you can see that someone was talking about shadows. So they have what the page is about. They have a definition. They have a picture as an example, and they drew what's looking like with the sun and the earth. So with or without. Okay. You'll notice that this is in full color. It's neat. They made sure there was no spelling mistakes. This is what a final copy should look like. We can do some other ones. So here's one of planets. So they have Pluto. Pluto is not. See how they bolded that word? It's important. A planet. It's too small, and it's called a dwarf planet. They have a picture of Pluto, and then they did a did you know? This probably should be a question mark, but they said a did you know? Okay, so a little fun fact. This one's about constellations. It's another space. There's a lot of space ones this year. This one's about lightning. Okay, so how it forms. They have the picture, the positives and negatives, and they have all the information. You'll notice they have page numbers. So as we look at these, and we'll look at them some more later, but I wanted you guys to see, here's an example of a covering, right? The cover of the book. So title, lightning, the striking facts. That's a catchy title. and then they have their name as well. Okay. There's lots of different ones. This would be one about ecosystems, and they divided the page into 4. Okay, so wildlife is very important to the Arctic tundra. You can tell this page is all about the tundra. They did like a different page for each biome. So they have like a little food pyramid or an energy flow, and then this is an example of how the words flow with the picture. Okay, so here's some ideas for you guys as you're thinking about what this book should look like. Okay. On here, on the back, there's a place for you to do your sources. So as you research, you'll want to put some information here, some notes and information. But here's where we're at today. So you'll notice that this paper is labeled by day. Today is 5/5, May 5th. Okay, so we're going to work on this section. Tomorrow we're on this section. You'll notice these sections aren't super big. Okay, please don't just do the whole packet. We're going to do it a little bit at a time. Then we're going to do research day. Then we're going to start writing our book. And that's where we'll kind of be when we start off next Monday. Okay. So for this part, this is what we're doing today. It says, as you read picture books, I'm going to read some to you in a moment, we're going to make a list of some features you notice. Okay. So features are like characteristics of a book. So you could say a feature of Mrs. Olson is that she has brown hair. She's an adult. She's the teacher. Okay, those are some features. If I'm reading a non-fiction book, I could say some features are that it's fact-based. Maybe that it has a picture that could be taken in real life versus an illustration. If I'm reading a fiction book, like a story, there's going to be characters and settings, and those are some of the features of a book. So we're going to read 3 books today. We're not going to read the whole thing, so we're going to look through them, and we're going to try to make a list of some features. Okay. We're going to start with this book. I pulled some of these from our classroom library. You'll notice they're like a level 2 reader. So this is like a book you would probably read in like the 1st grade. Not super challenging. Alright. We notice a few things first. It has a title. We have illustrator, author. We got a picture. Alright. Here we go. Dinosaurs. This is your title page. Your book will have a title page too. So you'll notice the words for a book don't start on the first page. First we have the title page. The title page is like the cover. The information gets repeated. So first thing I want to put on here as a little reminder is that we're going to have a cover page. Another way to put this is the title page. Okay, here we go. Dinosaurs lived long ago. Fossils tell us what we know. And we can see we have illustration here. It's full color from edge to edge. Some were big, some were small. You can tell that this picture is comparing things. Everybody who is alive today knows what a chicken is. It's just a common animal where we live. Okay? So if you know what a chicken is, you can compare this. Everyone has probably seen a car, so you can compare. So they've done a comparison. It's common in science books to make comparisons. Some were long. Again, we have a football field. See how their picture takes up 2 pages? If you choose to do something like this, you can either make sure that you put 4 sentences on 1 page, or you can just count this as 1 page and then have another one. Some were tall. Some had beaks. Some had sails. Some had plates and powerful tails. I'm going to pause right here. The rest of this book is great as well, but I want to take some notes from it. So, in this book, we learned a couple things. We have full color illustration. We have a small amount of words on each page. Now, this book had too few words, okay? It had 1 sentence, and we're going for 2 to 3. 2 to 3 sentences per page, if you do an 8-page book, is about 16 sentences. So that's like 2 paragraphs. Maybe 3 if you're writing small paragraphs. Okay? So that will mean that when we write our rough draft, it's kind of going to be like you write 3 paragraphs, and then we're going to break it up over your whole book. Small amount of words. You might be able to find some other things in this book as well. Okay. The next book we're going to read is also kind of about dinosaurs, but this one's called Fossils. You'll notice this book's also not super long. Okay. Here we go. Fossils. This book has a table of contents. That's really common in science books. You could put a table of contents. They've made chapters. Your book's probably not going to be long enough for chapters, but if you have information, you could add it. We also notice in here, this book has a glossary, and it has an answer key. So let's see what those are about, because that might be something you want to put in your book. This one has probably more words than you're going to use, but we're going to read a couple of these anyways. Chapter 1, Clues from the Past. A Tyrannosaurus rex, also known as a T-Rex, opens his huge jaws. His 50 long dagger-like teeth sink into the tasty Triceratops he's having for dinner. As the T-Rex dines, winged reptiles flap across the sky. Off in the thick forest of ferns, a herd of hadrosaurs are using their tough beaks and numerous teeth to grind up a dinner of plants. And then we have this picture of a T-Rex eating another animal. It might be a little too graphic for our book, but that's alright. This is not a scene from a book or a movie. It is a story told by Earth's fossils. A fossil is any evidence or remains of an organism that once lived on Earth. Fossils are our clues to the past. I'm going to pause. We have some vocab words. They also did a word box. You can think about this like in our Nat Geos, how they give you vocab and they define them in a box. So we might have vocab words. You could include those in your book. They might be bold or highlighted. That's how we know they're important. Okay. We've got pictures of things in real life. So we have pictures, we have a model here. We have a caption. They've labeled this picture. It says, look at the skeleton of a T-Rex. So you see the similarities between the skeleton and the drawing on page 4. So it has you look at the skeleton and the drawing, and it's doing comparison again. But you might have a diagram. You might have some captions. Alright. This book's pretty similar. It's going to go through it. It has lots of vocab words, has lots of information. I'm going to pause right here, and we're going to go over this. This is a test inside your book, and you could do this. You could make something interactive. So you could do questions and clues. You can make a little game inside your book. You could do little things like this, where the answer's later, but it's like a question. It says, use these words to describe the fossil, so it gives some activities. You can do a fact page. So this is like fast facts or fun facts. Okay? So you can do fun facts. You can do a game or an activity inside your book. If you do this, you have to have an answer key, because your reader wants to know the answer. Alright? Then we go to chapter 2. Chapter 2 also has some diagrams, so how it forms. They've got a process. Okay? Another caption. More games, because they did one for each chapter. Okay? Talked about finding them. It did another graph or a chart. And then at the end, they did a glossary, so the definitions for all the words, and then they did the answers to their little key. Okay? So, a couple things. You might put a glossary. And you could pick some other things from these books that you liked as well. So maybe you're going to have diagram over here. I'm going to add chart. Stuff like that. We have one more book, and I really like this last book. It's a good example, but it has a lot of words as well. But it's a good example. This book is pretty long. You can tell it's a lot of pages. And it talks all about weather. Some of you might have actually read this book this year, because I think I saw it out a couple times. So it's called I Can Read About Weather. It has its title page. Here we go. When you wake up in the morning, do you look out the window and see what kind of day it's going to be? Do you look up at the sky and wonder about the weather? Some days are rainy. Some days are cloudy and chilly. And on some days, big flakes of snow come tumbling out of the sky. You can tell that each picture is matching. This is a good amount of sentences at the beginning. Each day brings a different kind of weather. The air all around you is part of the weather. It is the air calm or windy? Is it wet or dry? Clear or cloudy? Hot or cold? All these conditions make up the day's weather. I'm going to skip ahead for a moment because it kind of just talks all about weather. Okay, hot days, you can feel heat. And then we get into some of these diagrams, okay? So it's explaining it. Things like this. So labeled pictures. Again, we have the type of cloud labeled with pictures, okay? Types of clouds. Snowflakes, you can go just tiny to zoomed in. Here's the different kinds of precipitation. Okay, so from this book, I want you guys to think about that there can be examples. Things are labeled. My book's a little wrong. And then I'm going to leave this one blank. I want you to look back in this video or look at a book at your house and find one more feature of a book. If you post your answer in the comments section, I'll give you a bonus point in science. Okay? You'll just write it in the section down below. For today, I just want you guys thinking about picture books. What are picture books like? What is a picture book you're going to be like? How many sentences? What kind of pictures? Was there something you're really interested in? Maybe you're like, wow, I'm really going to want to make sure that I have a glossary. That was cool to me. Maybe you're like, nope, I really like fact boxes. Thinking about this, tomorrow we're going to talk about picking a topic. Okay? So you can be thinking about it, but we're not going to actually pick a topic till tomorrow. Now, this science video is about 18 minutes. So this is going to be your whole science time today, watching this video, finding one more answer, and then you're going to be done with science. Please put this packet somewhere safe. You will need it for 2 more weeks. You do not want to lose it. Okay? If you have any questions, feel free to ask them. We will talk about this some more tomorrow, though.